Hello and welcome to A Fan Reads Bantha Tracks. This time I will be reading issue number 11, February 1981. And there's something different about Bantha Tracks. Hold on. This is what Bantha Tracks used to look like. And now it looks like this. A lot more colorful and the art is a bit more detailed. Very, very cool. That must mean that the fan club is doing much better now. I'm so excited. Now remember in the last issue I had mentioned that they were selling the Vader in Flames patch? Well, guess what? I got it! The Vader in Flames. Doesn't that look absolutely amazing? The colors just pop out. Looks gorgeous. Look at that. The first part is an interview. Ugh. Sometimes the interviews can be so boring. I will try to make this interesting. Let's see. It's an interview of Howard Kazanjian. In a recent press release, see right. Oh, the press release is right there. Let's read the press release. For immediate release, Revenge of the Jedi, the third film in the continuing Star Wars saga, will begin principal photography in the fall of 1981 at the EMI Elstree Studios, London, and on locations in Europe. George Lucas is writing the first draft screenplay and will be executive producer. Howard Kazanjian, who is currently co-executive producer of the Lucasfilm Steven Spielberg production of Raiders of the Lost Ark, will produce Jedi. He joined Lucasfilm in 1977 as vice president of production and subsequently produced More American Graffiti for the company. No director for Jedi is yet set. Gary Kurtz, who produced Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, will serve as a production consultant on Jedi while he prepares two of his own projects. Revenge of the Jedi pre-production work begins early in 1981 at Elstree. I love The Empire Strikes Back, so I'm sure Revenge of the Jedi will be just as good. It's gotta be. Alright, let's see. Let's hope this interview is interesting. Maybe it won't be so long. Alright, let's see. In a recent press release, Howard Kazanjian was named as the producer of Revenge of the Jedi, the third film in the Star Wars saga. Following are excerpts from a recent Bantha Tracks interview with Howard Kazanjian. When you were growing up, did you see a lot of movies? My parents always went to the movies. At first, I was frightened of movies, but as I grew a little older, I started to enjoy them, and soon I couldn't stay away from them. How did you get interested in making films? That goes back to when I was 10 or 12 years old. I wanted a tape recorder very badly, but my parents didn't want to buy me one, so they gave me the old family movie camera. That started it. This movie camera didn't have a single frame shooting. It didn't have any refinements. In fact, it didn't have anything but a lens, so I'd make it shoot single frame. I did stop motion of clouds moving by or an apple being eaten up when nobody was touching it. All of the trick shots that kids do in making movies. As time passed, I bought a new camera and became more and more involved with movies. When I was in junior high school, 6 or 7 of us formed our own movie club. Aside from having monthly screenings of older feature films, we shot our own movies, even documentaries for our school. For example, we shot a film of the new school being built, and when it came to school assignments, I tried to do my term papers with a camera. Like for biology, the dissection of a frog, or for chemistry, the making of a hydrogen. You went to college at USC and majored in film. Tell us something about that. I graduated from cinema school at USC in 1964 at a time when film school was really anti-Hollywood. They were trying to teach us avant-garde, surrealistic, or experimental filmmaking. We were not being taught how to make Hollywood-type films, and that's what I wanted to learn first. I wanted to make a film with a beginning, a middle, and end, with a theme and a story that could be understood. I had difficulty with many of the instructors for this reason, and to survive the cinema department and to maintain a B average, I had to get A's in psychology, astronomy, and some other classes I wasn't much interested in at all. So, You didn't go to graduate school in film? No, I went to graduate school in business. I lived in the cinema department, was in the honor fraternities, but I was heading for a master's degree in business. And I began to ring doorbells to get a job in film. And by ringing those doorbells, I got into the Directors Guild training program, and I never finished my master's. Did your parents encourage you to go into film? When I was a child and first had the camera, my parents certainly didn't know what they had started, and I don't quite think I had anything in mind other than just making those pictures. I did know I wanted to be behind the camera. I wanted to be the storyteller, the director, and not the actor. Later, when my parents saw what I was doing in junior high school, and at USC, no, they were not encouraging. They would have preferred that you had a more conventional business career? Yes, or follow in my father's footsteps. He's a cutter and importer of fine gems, and he would have liked me to carry on what he established. Interview continued. Oh, there's more. Here it is. I think that's mainly why I went to business school. I felt I owed my parents that. How did you finally make up your mind to pursue a film career? Well, I loved it so much. I found this to be the hardest decision I ever made. When I was accepted into the Directors Guild training program, I decided that I would give myself a couple of weeks to see if I wanted this, and I loved it. I really, really loved what I'm doing. I don't love the problems and irritations, but I try to look at them as a challenge, even as an opportunity. We have problems all day long. My desk is piled high with them. I do get tired of paperwork after a while. I love getting out there on the set. I love the making of the film, the creative part of it, from the pre-production through editing and release. I don't want to be a producer who pushes paper. I want to be a producer or director who makes film. We asked Howard a few questions about Revenge of the Jedi, but could get him to tell us only that the movie will be released in May of 1983, and that Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Billy Dee Williams will be back. For more information, keep reading Bantha tracks, and we'll keep pestering for information. Cool. Okay, so that was the interview. Fortunately, it was nice and short, not like the past Bantha tracks that just went on and on and on. And now the answers to the previous episode's trivia questions. How many different types of mechanical vehicles are in Star Wars? Name them. 10 were shown, an 11th was mentioned. Land Speeder, X-Wing Fighter, Y-Wing Fighter, TIE Fighter, the Blockade Runner, the Millennium Falcon, Sandcrawler, Star Destroyer, Escape or Life Pod, and the Death Star were shown. The T-16 or Skyhopper was mentioned but never shown, although Luke was playing with a miniature version of it while he was cleaning R2-D2 and C-3PO. Now, inside Bantha Tracks, we have questions and answers again. It's back! Yay! Let's see what the questions are. Where can I find out about science fiction conventions in my local area? There are several good sources that publish convention listings on a regular basis or intermittently, such as Starlog Magazine, Isaac Asimov's science fiction magazine, Science Fiction Chronicles. I hope one day there'll be a convention for Star Wars. I'd love to do that. Next question. What happens when my membership in the fan club expires at the end of 1 year? Will I be able to renew my membership, and if so, what am I entitled to as a renewed member? Immediately after your 4th Bantha Tracks newsletter is mailed, the fan club will send a renewal notice describing the procedure. The $4 renewal fee entitles you to a year of Bantha Tracks. The full-color decals of Yoda and the Bounty Hunters, pictured below, opportunities to participate in club-sponsored contests with terrific prizes, and offers to purchase Star Wars collector's items. In 1983, in conjunction with the release of Revenge of the Jedi, an all-new kit will be offered. So cool! Here's another question. I think it's the last one. There's only 3 questions. What new products will be coming out from Kenner Toys in the early part of 1981? What new models will be coming out from MCP Fun Dimensions in 1981? Between January and April, Kenner will be introducing many new Empire items, including 9 new mini action figures a 24-piece collector's case, a turret and probot playset, the Dagobah playset, the new mini rigs, an electronic laser rifle, 3 versions of Yoda, a puppet, a large talking action figure with 8 sayings from the film, and Yoda the Jedi Master, a toy that answers questions. Boba Fett's ship Slave One, a Yoda board game, and a large AT-AT walker with side openings, movable legs, pulsating light, laser guns, and a remote lever to move the head. Oh my god, I totally have to get that. New from MCP Fundimensions for 1981 are miniature dioramas of Yoda's Swamp House and the Battle of Hoth. Models include a snowspeeder, the Imperial Star Destroyer, and Millennium Falcon. Also to be introduced is an 8-inch tall Imperial Walker, molded in color with movable parts. I'm not totally into models. I'd rather collect the Kenner toys. They're so cool.
Laser guns, test firing, release landing gear.
From Kenner Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection, its new Rebel Armored Snowspeeder. Batteries not included.
You got my message.
C-3PO and Rebel Soldier action figures each sold separately.
We'll get you to safety. The Empire forces. We've got to escape.
Snowspeeder has laser guns with sound and light action.
Got 'em. Back to the Rebel base.
Rebel Armored Snowspeeder. You have to put it together. Action figures each sold separately. New from Kenner.
Here's a thing called SW on NPR. Star Wars is coming to radio! In March, National Public Radio will broadcast 13 episodes of Star Wars, Part 4, now titled A New Hope, starring Mark Hamill and Anthony Daniels. The story has been greatly expanded and will include such new material as Princess Leia on Alderaan, where we meet her father and learn more about the princess's home planet. Luke's friends on Tatooine, including his best friend Biggs, the first time R2 and 3PO meet, Han and Chewie's encounter with Tatooine's underworld, and other new characters and events. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I really got to hear that. How can such a visual story as Star Wars be translated into a purely auditory medium? Most people who ask that, says executive producer Richard Toscan of station KUSC-FM in Los Angeles, overlook the fact that the incredible visual effects created for Star Wars were accompanied by an equally innovative sound score. We are capitalizing on the impressive work Ben Burtt did on the sound. In its own way, it was as revolutionary as its visual effects. Tom Vogeli, engineer for the programs, has developed some totally new sound effects to accompany those created for the film by Burtt. In the radio series, Luke races his Skyhopper, never flown in the movie, through Beggar's Canyon on Tatooine. Vogeli has invented the new sound for the Skyhopper. State-of-the-art stereo techniques will combine with the listener's imagination to produce an effect every bit as realistic as that of the film. Series executive producer Richard Toscan of KUSC-FM and Carol Titleman of Lucasfilm Limited adapted the story with Brian Daly. Star Wars was directed for radio by John Madden, winner of the Prix Italia, the International Award for Radio Drama. The cast, headed by Mark Hamill and Tony Daniels, includes Brock Peters as Darth Vader, Perry King as Han Solo, Anne Sachs as Princess Leia, Bernard Behrens as Ben Kenobi, and Keen Curtis as Grand Moff Tarkin. The half-hour programs will be broadcast by public radio stations around the country. If you do not know which station to listen to in your area, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Star Wars, National Public Radio, and after you hear the series, please let the fan club know what you think of it. Wow, that's really cool. I really need to check that out. Alright, now we have another section. Let's see. Should I fold this? I don't know. I don't have to break the paper. We have another section called Profile. Let's see. Let's see who this is about. Fan club member Sylvia Stevens, 25, of Reseda, California, has become the Emperor's own census taker. At science fiction conventions, Sylvia sets up a few large sheets of cardboard, and this census office tries to answer such questions as, how many died in the destruction of Alderaan? And who has killed more Imperial Starfleet personnel, Darth Vader or the entire Rebel Alliance? After all, Sylvia points out, without a census taker, How can an Imperial Starfleet junior officer tell how many senior officers stand between him and the temporary honor of captain or even the admiralty? Sylvia has divulged to Bantha some of the answers to her poll on the most burning questions left by The Empire Strikes Back. Is Darth Vader really Luke's father? Here's a sample from her polls. Why not? It's simply impossible. Would Vader lie? Yes. Yes, and he is also the other. If he wasn't, why did Vader argue with the Emperor about Luke? He tried to spare Luke, even during the fight. Vader is a clone of Luke's father. Why would Obi-Wan lie? Darth is trying to put one over on Luke. Due to a time shift, Luke is really Vader's father. I wouldn't believe anything Vader said. The child is the father of the man. One wonders how it all began. No, remember, Vader almost blasted Luke out of space in Star Wars, A New Hope. You expect the truth from Vader? Vader's greed and ambition motivate him. He has no qualms about lying and confusing Luke. Darth Vader is confused. No, his real father is Arg. Vader is Han's father, not Luke's. I do know, but I'm not telling. Luke felt it to be true. If you can't trust Darth Vader, who can you trust? Can't you see the resemblance? Darth is Luke's uncle. Would you buy a used land speeder from Vader? Luke Vader? Nah, it doesn't have that ring. Who cares? Just as long as Jedi is as great as the first two films. Sylvia says she posted this opinion poll because I know how I felt about The Empire Strikes Back. I wanted to know how others felt. As you can see, I received some funny answers and some thought-provoking ones as well. The question Sylvia asked on her poll is the one most frequently sent in for the Q&A column too. But only George Lucas knows the answer, and he's not telling. So, in 1983, when Revenge of the Jedi is released, where will we be? Joining Sylvia Stevens in a theater line. Of course! How about some The Empire Strikes Back trivia? Who rescues Luke from the cold on Hoth? How does the Empire learn the location of the Rebel base? The answers to these trivia questions will be given on the next episode. If you don't know the answers, that's okay. Just go see The Empire Strikes Back again. Or ask a friend who's seen it a lot. Because how else would you get the answers? Here we go again with Lucasfilm updates. Lucasfilm. Oh my gosh. Star Wars. It says Star Wars. Star Wars Fan Club. Star Wars Fan Club. It should all be about Star Wars and the Star Wars movies. Lucasfilm, that should be another fan club like the Lucasfilm Fan Club, or the George Lucas Fan Club, or the Lucas Fan Club, or Lucasfilms, or Lucas, yeah, whatever. All right, let's. I'll read it anyway. Lucasfilm updates. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the story of a desperate race between two great superpowers to locate the lost Ark of the Covenant, believed to contain the original tablets on which the Ten Commandments were inscribed. The movie is an action-adventure that takes place in exotic locations around the world. The Lucasfilm Limited production, directed by Steven Spielberg, was produced by Frank Marshall. Executive producers were George Lucas and Howard Kazanjian, Harrison Ford and Karen Allen Starr. The Paramount release will open across the country and in Canada in June. Whatever! I'm sure it's not going to be as good as The Empire Strikes Back or Star Wars. Those are the only two movies that matter, right? Am I right? Is there any more articles in here? I don't think so. They have a new thing called, product, the Luke Skywalker Rebel Fatigues jacket. That looks really cool. Now you can look like a Star Warrior of the Rebel forces in your very own Rebel Fatigue jacket. A high-quality version of Luke's jacket has been produced in limited quantities for fan club members. It's virtually an exact replica based upon the original design of Star Wars Academy Award-winning costume design John Molo. Wow. It looks a lot like it, too. Down to the very last detail, the Rebel Fatigue jacket is custom tailored with ornamental stitching, hidden snap buttons, and usable sleeve and front pockets. The jacket is constructed with a rugged denim fabric. It's machine washable and made to last. The color is an attractive blend of beige and khaki. The jacket is in a complete range of sizes. All fans, male, female, young, and old, will enjoy the product. While the jacket is an authentic duplicate of an Empire costume, it is also ideally suited for everyday practical use. Perfect to wear at school, at play, at parties, at science fiction conventions, almost every occasion. The futuristic styling makes this the jacket of the 80s. Prices $23.95 to $35.95, each based upon size. Ooh, I don't know. That's kind of expensive. $23.95 for this jacket. It's kind of high. Let's see. There's the Empire Strikes Back poster album Volume 1. And it's new. The poster album features full-color pinups of the stars from The Empire Strikes Back. It is designed so that each pinup can be cut out for hanging somewhere special. 8 carefully selected full-color pinup portraits are included, and on the reverse side of each portrait is a complete career biography of the particular star along with a black and white photograph. These color portraits are printed on high-quality glossy paper, perfectly suited for framing. Stars featured in the poster album include Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, David Prowse as Darth Vader, Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, Kenny Baker as R2-D2. The Empire Strikes Back poster album is a special publication produced for the official Star Wars fan club and is not available elsewhere. Price $3. Now $3 I can do. I think I'll totally get that. There's still more on the back. It's the Empire Promotional Art Portfolio, available to members only. Produced 2 years ago for the Empire Strikes Back promotion campaign, these portfolios were originally sent to a select number of movie theater managers. The remaining ones from this campaign are now available, in very limited supply, to fan club members. These special collector's items were never offered to the general public and will not be produced again. The portfolio contains 2 9.5 by 22-inch art prints by Ralph McQuarrie produced in beautiful full color on high-quality paper. The prints highlight scenes from The Empire Strikes Back, the Millennium Falcon descending into the large asteroid crater, C-3PO and R2-D2 exploring the interior of the Hoth Rebel command post, inner envelope sealed with a 4-ounce solid lead Darth Vader medallion, protective folder with embossed Darth Vader design, outer portfolio package with Darth Vader's silkscreen. Due to the limited number of portfolios available, all orders must include a self-addressed stamped envelope so that payment can be returned should supply run out. All orders will be filled on a first-come, first-served basis. Domestic orders will be shipped in a protected box and mailed United Parcel Service. Members may order one portfolio only. Ooh, $25. Ooh, that's pretty high. And you get newsletter back issues. The back issues are only $1 each. That's very cool. Updates. Star Wars is back. For those who haven't seen it, and for those who haven't seen it enough, Star Wars will be re-released in mid-April. The film will be shown at 1,500 movie theaters domestically and in Canada for a 2-week engagement. Look in your local newspaper for announcements of where Star Wars will be playing near you. Oh my god! I totally have to see it. Because how else am I going to see it? There's no other way of seeing Star Wars but in the theaters. I'm so excited. I have to see it again. I have to see that movie again. I love it so much. And Raiders of the Lost Ark in a book. But the best news is Star Wars in theaters again. That is it for issue number 11 of Bantha Tracks. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.